especially new agents. There's a problem with the file and they don't answer the phone.
Don't hide.
Yeah, exactly. And even lenders do. You'd be surprised.
You're not going to see me in this video today, guys, but I am bringing you two highly successful entrepreneurs of the real estate industry. Javier Sanchez and Mike Berrios are both flip investors. Mike manages a mortgage office and team. Javier Sanchez manages a team of multiple agents, both super successful. They talk about work, family balance, entrepreneurship, and what it takes to be successful in this industry. Yes, you'll hear me in the background, so hit that like button, subscribe, comment below, keep swinging, and we'll see you on the next one.
Mike, you look great for Thanksgiving.
This is a fucking big. This one's a bigger one. My son fits. Let's see.
That was a bit tighter, I think.
40, 42, that's medium. But you never know. Okay, no jacket.
No jacket. Mike knows how to clap now.
My back hurts. So.
Is that?
He wants me to clap.
You see your audio levels?
No, where?
Oh, all right. There. Right there. Is that green? Right there on the bottom.
That's
Let's talk about George. Just talk.
Because topic or something like that.
Blondes or brunettes?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you?
Don't start. I know you're freaking Mike.
All right, but you gotta clap for me 3 times.
All right.
No, loud claps.
Thing knows. You gotta clap the other way. I put the hands.
Okay.
Here, I'll do it. 1, 2, 3.
All right.
There.
Go. What's the question, Mike?
My question to you, Mr. Sanchez, is: do you remember when I swiped right on you?
Not really.
Do you remember how we met? Damn, he doesn't.
What
care.
I remember is somebody invited me to a party. There was a Halloween party, and they were telling me, "Oh yeah, this lady everybody knows. You know, he's throwing a party and I used to live in the colonies." And then that was Leslie Wilson, and he goes, "Come over." Like, "Why don't I even know this guy? You want me to go get a shot?" No, don't worry. He said, "Don't worry about it. It's gonna be a lot of people you know there." So that I hear your name before, but I never got the chance to go and meet you in person. I guess, like into that time. And then somebody say, "Oh yeah, this is my Berrios." It's like when you know somebody by name, but you know the person, especially in this business,
Yeah. So, do you remember the first time I tried to call you?
Yeah, well, I don't remember, but you told me, more than one time, 2, 3, 4 times that you were calling me, like how the lenders call you. Like, I guess you called me, and I was telling you that I have my in-house lender, although I was working with somebody. But,
Okay, so what I remember is getting my heart crushed a million times.
okay, how many times did you try to call me on?
Well, for years. So, a long time ago, being really young in the industry, we didn't know any better. And we just assumed when a real estate agent advertises in the magazine that, oh my gosh, they're successful and they have all these listings or they have all these sales.
Okay.
So what we would do is just go through the magazine. I'm going to call this one, Your picture, was your picture black and white before?
Yeah, that was me.
That was you, right?
That was like freaking like 20 years ago.
Yeah,
probably,
so I'm like, oh, okay, this guy's in the magazine, but he doesn't have a color picture. Maybe he's on a budget, but I'll still call him. No, but I'd call you and just introduce myself and ask if you had any, just pretty much asked if you needed help on pre-qualification or we have a program 100% stated and so on. But I would say conservatively, 6, 7 times you said, I already have a lender. And there's been times where you were rude. I already have a lender. All right, I'll call next time. But I know, so a long time ago when I was 18 or 19, I worked in collections. So one of the things that they said is persistence breaks resistance. So getting hung up on or getting cussed out didn't really affect me. Not that you cussed me out. You were not the nicest, but not the rudest.
But I was professional.
Yeah, you're professional.
Yeah.
So I figured, one of these days, it could be timing. It could just be timing where the previous lender dropped the ball, and then, hey, let me call this guy. It's happened so many times. So then I guess so I would call you over and over and over, and until years later, I think it was 2000, maybe 2010, maybe 2010, 11, somewhere around there. And then yeah, it was when we had the Halloween, the Hallowfest parties, which we should bring back. But world famous Hallowfest parties. Wow, man, that's another topic. That reminds me of what we were talking about earlier. So so you were introduced to me by Manny
Which one is it?
Badiola.
Badiola, okay.
Yeah. So you introduced to me by a mutual friend, and it was Saturday night. I think it was 12 or 12:30. You were wearing this tight. No, I'm kidding.
Shit.
No, but you said I said, hey, it was Saturday. It was loud. There was music, people dancing, drinking, and I said, hey, I've been wanting to meet you for years. He said, yeah, yeah. I said, well, finally we get a chance to meet. And of course, it wasn't the place to talk about business because it was a Halloween party. But you said, all right, and you give me a look like, okay, I'll give you a chance. Call me Monday at 8. And I said, I'll call you Monday at 8. You're gonna call me? I said, I'll call you Monday at 8. So I called you Monday at 8. Set the appointment. We went. We talked, and then that's pretty much how it went. But it was years of courting, talking to this guy, and then fast forward to now, he's become a good friend. He's helped me out personally with things, and also on personal projects with flips. So thank you for that. And he's a ladies' man, so
Man. Thank you. But you know what? You got good memory, Mike.
he's red. Look,
I know. Yeah, but going back to that conversation, it's kind of like you had to understand, kind of like the same way it happened to me. Like when I call a seller like a bunch of times, or I call a particular buyer, mostly like sellers say that, and they say no, and by the end, we ended up selling their house, and then after that I keep buying properties, we selling, and then from there we start like a relation. It's hard when I know, and it's hard when you call somebody like cold calling, that's what you were doing. You don't know that person, you know. I think things changed a lot, from back then. Now it's more about network, who you work, and then now it's kind of like, and you guys already know, when you guys close the transaction, you get to work with the other agent,
right.
And then from there you can start a relation. And that's the way they go ahead and do it. And I see that happen a lot lately, I would say the last 8, 9 years. It's completely different than before. Instead of calling, I still get calls from lenders, but not that many,
I mean, it sounds cliche, but it's true. Your network is your net worth, but even seeking out what type of people you want in your network is important. What type of people you want to look up to or be advisors or like a confidant, if you will,
Yeah. And then that's what it takes. How many times we submit an offer? If I don't know the agent or the other side, I'll call you guys.
Yeah.
How many times you say, I know this guy, I worked with this guy before. And then it happened that we were able to go and communicate with the agent and make it happen, and it's about network, and it changed completely, compared with 10 years ago, and like 15 years ago, and it was completely different. Back then it was more like not too much communication between the selling agent and then the listing agent and the lenders, everyone keep it to themselves,
Yeah, reputation is very important. So having said that, so there's people there's a lot of real estate agents, lenders, and people in our industry that have recently got in, let's say 3 to 5 years ago. And a year to 3 years ago, it's been really good. We've been spoiled. Business has been easy. And if you didn't make any money, then you're not doing something right. So now the people that have got in recently, 3 to 5 years ago, what would you suggest to them? You've been doing this for how long now?
I'm going to 20 years, and then before that, I was working as an assistant, for what's it, 3 years, almost 23 years.
So if you were to start today knowing all the stuff that you know now, what would you do now going forward in 2023?
Definitely keep the open relations with the agents. Communication, that's the main thing. Answer your phone when you call the agent. When they call you, giving updates. I mean, if the deal's not gonna go through, I mean, call the guy right away. And what happened with a lot of agents out there, especially new agents, what they do is kind of like, there's a problem with the file, and they don't answer the phone.
Don't hide.
Yeah, exactly. And even lenders too. You'd be
Mhm.
surprised.
Yeah.
When the lender's not answering the phone calls and the agent, there has to be a problem, you know.
Right.
And remember, we represent a seller, so I mean, we had to go, back with answers, to the seller. And that's what happened with a lot of people. They get kind of like, I mean, it's not going to be the end of the world. I mean, the file is not going to close. Communicate.
Yeah.
That's communication. That's the main thing. That's all.
Have the courtesy to give the bad news soon, as fast as possible.
Exactly. The sooner the better. That's what I say.
So if you have no business right now, if you're on zero, your gas tank is empty with prospects and you don't know what to start with. Say the people that are younger in the business, what are three things you would say they need to focus on to generate buyers or sellers or
It's funny because that's the way I start my week, especially Mondays. Just, I think about, I don't look at the board to say how many transactions we have, how many escrows we got open, how many leads we have. I start from in my head, start from zero, and start dialing people, going back to my leads and call the particular seller like another 20 times. Not the same day, but, like kind of like to put my notes. You see my notes in my CRM, like how many times did I call, and that's what you have to do. Like, you have to be persistent. The same way you were calling me, and if we were to go ahead and start business, that's the same way that I've been doing it too. It started from there. I mean, it's like going back to basics. I mean, you have to put your work, especially in this market right now. Especially in this market right now, I can tell that like the last 3 or 4 years, it was easy for a lot of people. And then I was able to one point to be off on Thursdays, to do whatever, like playing golf or whatever, and Saturday and Sunday, 3 days out of the week. So now I'm working like almost 7 days a week, Friday one day off. I can be there during the week or on the weekend, but still, I mean, I'm putting more hours. Why? Because I want to go ahead and, go back to basics, you know, and I don't want to see my pipeline going down
Yeah.
at one point. And that's what, I mean, as a veteran in this business, that's what we had to do. But sometimes we don't want to go ahead and do that at all, and then I get mad at myself sometimes, because I mean, you have to be disciplined to be able to go ahead and do that. Go back and go back to work and go back to basics. Now I know you're talking about new agents. I mean, new agents, they have to start the same way too. They have to be disciplined. If you're going into the office about like 9 o'clock, I mean, and then don't take 2 hours lunch and come back and work for like 1 hour and then go home and go to happy hour. That's a no-no right there. We know that. I mean, being independent contractors, I mean, we get like a lot of temptations out there.
Yeah. It's so easy. We have a lot of liberty in this business to do whatever we want, but then we don't get what we want when we do those things. So would you say is door knocking a plus right now, or phone calls, or technology, social media?
All depends. Everyone works different. What I do once a seller clicks in my CRM in my website in CRM, I can see how many times he's looking for values in the property, and I try to call the guy and send emails, and he doesn't reply. I go straight to their house, and I say, you know what, Javier Sanchez, you've been searching in my website, stuff, was in the area, stuff just to say hi. It's anything I can go ahead and do for you.
So most people stop. So most people give up when they don't get a response. You actually even drive to their home, knock on the door. Hey, I was in the area. That's good.
Yeah, that's what I usually do. Drive to the area. Lately, I changed a little bit. Went back to notice of the fall, notice of the trustee sales. I lost one the other day, by the way. The seller, I mean, this guy, he was about to lose his house, and then he signed the contract and everything. I was gonna go ahead and buy the house from this guy, and then and after 3 or 4 days, he disappeared on me. Nice property in Ontario. He was able to go ahead and make some money, and then the trustee sale was, I think it was last week. Yeah, it was last week. And then the property went to the trustee sale. He lost the property.
He lost it.
He lost
Too late.
it. And I even went to the courthouse. And it was another experience. Something different. So that's what I've been doing. Lately, trying to do something different. I know there's spires. There's not too many spires.
Yeah.
Like going back to basics, door knocking. Letters. I see sending letters. I do that a lot. For now, being more specific. Which areas, who's getting letters. Especially, out of state. Owners. and then I sent a bunch of letters to them to
So
let them know
the absentee owners.
absentee owners.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
that's what it's called, absentee owners. So yes.
Good. What about? Do you think what's faster, getting a listing or getting a buyer? Right now, what's faster to wait or a paycheck?
You know what? And you guys already know, like, I mean, right now, kind of like I level out buyers and sellers, and I do it just to show my agents, like, yeah, I'm a listing agent, and I can go ahead and get also flips and wholesale listings at the same time. I show them that I can go ahead and work with buyers, no matter what. But buyers being picky right now.
They're being picky too.
Yeah, they're being picky, and then it's weird how the market changed the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
There's no inventory. And even like that, buyers trying to go down in price. I just submitted an offer in Alta Loma, and then the list only lasts like probably like 3 or 4 days. They got 6 offers, and it went over like over the
Wow.
asking price. That was in Alta Loma. That was a good property north, of Wilson and Hermosa, right behind the junior high or the elementary school.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, nice property, good area, and then it went quick. But I mean, I told my client, like this, you didn't get it, And actually, convinced my client to go full price on the property. He was trying to go ahead and go down like $20,000 down, So I told the guy, why don't you wait for the home inspection and we can try to negotiate, the price.
True. That makes sense.
But that's the way he learned it. I mean,
So he gave a $20,000 less.
no, not
Oh, he
on this
did
one.
full price,
Well, we
okay.
full price. We didn't get the property. Even at full price, we didn't get the property. Well, with like a $200,000 down payment.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. You got to be adverse right now. The agents that we see most success with are not sticking only to one thing, as far as only buyers or only listings, because there's a lot of different avenues to make money in real estate, and I mean you have the expertise there.
Actually, I opened an escrow today, and then there's 4 units, 4 units in Calexico.
Calexico.
That's another thing that I start doing. Like I start going out of the area. I start going out of the area to be able to go ahead and get something good. Like the same way you were going to the, I would say, like Joshua Tree and
Yeah.
Palms. I went all the way to Calexico, Central. I don't know if you know the area. Calexico is right there by the border to Mexico, in the other side, Mexicali.
Okay.
Yeah, but even the rents are really high over there. Like the rents, like for 2 bedroom, one bed apartment is like $1,500.
Wow.
So yeah, so we got this 4-plex for $375,000. Fix it up.
375.
No, 375.
375.
If you do the math, that's $6,000 in
Yeah.
rent right there. And then we like the deal, and then probably gonna be driving out there. I will say probably Thursday. If not Wednesday, Thursday. That's what I'm gonna be driving.
Is your strategy right now more buy and hold or buy and flip as far as personal investments?
You know what? It's like everything, Mike. Trying to go ahead and do, things different. Like I can tell, like we got another property in Calexico too, and then there was a fix it upper, 2 bedroom, one bath, built in 1942. Sorry, 1942, and then we built like an ADU in the back. They were asking 110. We got it for like $100,000. I would say that, and then we built like a ADU in the back, and then we refi the property. When the price will come back, the price will come back to like $225,000 to $235,000.
Okay.
And we only put like altogether like 150, 160 altogether.
You
So
got
we
your
got our
money
money back. So now we're going back, like to
Yeah.
go ahead and buy something else in the same area.
Yeah.
So a lot of investors, they don't go that direction, and I shouldn't say this, but I mean, I'm an open book. Like you gotta go, out of the area to be able to go ahead and get those deals. I'm familiar with the area because
You go there often.
yeah,
right?
that's where I grew up. I'm from Mexicali, and I Calexico left and right. So I mean, there's a lot of demand for rent out there, like everywhere right now.
Yes, I mean depending on who you listen to. There's some people that say, "I don't ever invest in California," or some people say, "Only invest 20 miles away from you," or some people say, "Don't invest in single family, only multi-unit, only 2 to 4," and then others say 5 plus. So I guess it depends on who you listen to. But I find myself listening to a lot of different people and being pulled in a lot of different directions. The objective is to try to make money and invest smart, invest wise in different places. And fortunately, knock on wood, nothing. Fortunately, knock on wood, nothing negative has happened as far as investments. But nowadays I'm getting called by wholesale lenders, text or email or phone calls or agents presenting properties. Me personally, I feel the margin has to be pretty good, really good. And also depending on the area, there's houses that I bought in Barstow, 29 Palms, Hemet. Hemet has been a headache on a deal, but it just really depends, right? And I myself I find myself being a little just kind of tippy toeing around investments where I don't want to take a bad risk, make a bad decision, and take that huge risk to where I pay for it for years. It's just trying to figure out the right type of investment, the right type of house.
Yep.
Yeah, have I been wrong on or underestimated repairs? All the time. I haven't not gotten a disagreement with the contractor. Every single contractor is always something. Always something. Oh, well, the pipes, the plumbing, so many things, but going in estimating the repairs, there's always some type of padding just in case, or permits or something, or a leak in the. I've had 3 leaks in roofs with all this California rain, so I'm keeping a roofing company in business lately.
Yeah, that's what happened. I mean, and as a realtor, we get a lot of calls from clients that we close escrow, and then something happened with the roof. Like 6 months later, like a year later, what do you want me to go ahead and do? But in this case, you have to do as an investor. I mean, that's a risk that we take. We take a lot of risk.
The whole point is to make money
And to open more doors.
Open doors, yeah.
Open doors. That's what it is. So, anyways, going back to this conversation about investing. I mean, that's what it takes. I remember during COVID with all this, we said eviction restriction. There was no eviction at all, and there were a bunch of property they were offered to me, and people were saying no, and the threat was there, and I didn't care. I did take advantage of that, and a way to go ahead and purchase the property.
Mm.
But then I was convincing people to take cash for keys, and I would say about 75% of the cases, yeah, they were taking the money
to get out.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other, I would say the other 25%, there was people that wanted to go ahead and go all the way through eviction, or wait until the last minute to be able to go ahead and move out of the property, And there was another property and that was that one I partnered with one of my, one of my investors, property in Moreno Valley, and I talked to George about it. After they start paying rent for 6 months, and then we were trying to resell the property, and she said she wanted to go ahead and buy it, and then she ended up buying it with the down payment assistance program.
Oh, good.
So she moved. She never moved out of the property. I was trying to go ahead and push the loan this duration. I don't know if you remember that, George, the lady from Moreno Valley. But yeah, we were lucky in that one. It did take 6 months. And we were stressing out because that property we purchased cash, and the lady was trying to fix her credit. But I was, we were thinking that she's lying. And when she put the deposit on in escrow, she put we request I think $8,000 in escrow, not refundable.
Mm. But
and
it closed. Finally closed. Awesome.
And closed. And I can tell you the same thing like you, Mike. Like you can say a lot. You can tell your experience about flipping and dealing with people. But back, 2 years ago, that's what I was dealing, a lot, buying properties with tenants and everything.
Now, being an investor and a landlord, have you thought of getting your gun carrying permit?
No.
No?
No. Are you?
Have you? Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because the cash for keys, like you've mentioned, I've had to go to places in San Bernardino at 11, 12 midnight. And that's when they're cash for keys. Hey, we're going to be done at midnight. I go by myself. And I don't know. I just figure there's not that I'm not scared or concerned. I just say I figure whatever's going to happen is going to happen, but not that, I'm not going to be stupid and take my kids. I'm going to go by myself, but there's been places where I leave. I'm like, shit, I should have had a gun, because those guys if I would have done something wrong, they would have, I don't know, kick my ass or something. Tried to kick my ass.
I mean, it's too tempting because you never know what's going to happen. You know, if
Yeah.
you carry with you, like, I mean, it can be. I don't like the stuff, to be honest. And kind of like, if I know how to deal with somebody like that, I mean, kind of like,
Take
you know,
someone.
that's what happened to me. Like probably like 3 or 4 years ago in Joshua Tree. Actually, we bought a property out there. I bought it, and I sold it like 3 days later. But then I had to deal with a bunch of, you know, like, it was a big time, all time shows, you know, like there, you know, and then.
You show them your arm tattoo and they ran?
Yeah, man, I showed them my Pomona tattoos, and then they ran away. But then, like, going back to the, you know, carrying a gun or something like that, I mean, kind of like, you know how people is, you know, and that's over like the pobrecitos, like kind of like the suffering, and
True.
that's
True.
that's kind of like, and cops are like that, man. They don't even know which direction they're gonna go. Like, you can be a jerk because you're trying to go ahead and beat the people. The lady can be crying, which has happened to me, and they lie, man. People like walking into, you know, a lot of houses, and you know, and you know, my God, you can see the way they live, and you say, how do they live like this? Man?
Yeah.
You know, like, and that stuff is in my head a lot, like, you know, like get depressing. And I see guys and girls, you know, like, you know, laying on the floor and drugs on the floor, you know, like in the kitchen, and I don't know if you've seen that stuff or not, like. When you go to those houses, you know, I went to San Bernardino one time, and it was like really bad area, San Bernardino. We got a killer deal, and then there were 3 young kids, you know, plus they were so young, you know, they were like, you know, 17 to like 20, 20, 21, and then they were like, I mean, they were doing meth in the house, and they saw me, they didn't care. I was walking
Like,
inside
you
the
want?
house, you know, and then I left, and I went home and take a shower, you know, and then I even told my kids, you know, like, I don't want, I mean, that stuff stay over here. You have to be really strong, you know, to walk into houses like that and see the way that they live, you know, and it's depressing. You know?
I've been to houses that are there. You cannot see in an inch of the floor, carpet or flooring, because there's stuff all over the floor. They say, oh, "I'm so sorry, I have a mess," and I just, no, it's fine. I've seen worse. But in my head, I'm thinking, wow, how can they live like this? But sometimes I guess it could be a disease or a sickness. You know, being like a pack rat. There's shows about
Yeah,
that. You know,
hoarders. That's what it is. Yeah,
hoarders,
hoarder. That's what it
hoarders.
is. You know. Yeah, like we had this house for like the 23 or 2,400 square feet, 2-level house in San Bernardino. So the handyman charges like $7,000 to pull the trash out inside, you know, from the inside. That's a bunch of trash for so many years. The guy was living like that. You couldn't even walk inside the house, you know. And then he was still cooking in the stove, and he got a bunch of nuggets all over. Like, I'm
Oh
like,
man,
dude, like, how do you? I mean, you already know they're not mentally there, like,
yeah.
you know, to live like that, you know. You know, that's why when you wake up in the morning, you know, you gotta count your blessings, you know, thank God, you know, we don't know that situation because you never know.
That's for sure. You never know. For real estate agents that, everybody wants to invest or flip or be an investor. Um, now there's so much news out there, so there's so much noise and so many gadgets, so many things to chase around. And I think when you're chasing around so many things, it kind of distracts you, and you can't do a good job 100% of one thing. Let's say you want to focus on being a buyer's agent, you can't be 100%. Or you're listing or investing or wholesaling or selling Avon.
Yeah.
How do you yourself, because people that are just new in the business see someone like yourself and you're posting, hey, I got this flip, I got this property. I'm also running a marathon, and I'm also having this nice steak, with friends, and I'm also traveling. So people see, it's like they say, like the law of the iceberg, everyone sees what's on top, but they don't see all the hard work that it took, years and sacrifice and blood, sweat, and tears that it took to get there. What would you say to someone that's newer and say, yeah, you can accomplish all these things, but how do they stay focused?
Well, I would say like time management. That's what it is. You know, like at this point, my career is kind of like my office. You know, now I got Oscar running the office. You know, if any of my agents need something, you know, paperwork or help with anything, he's there. You know, of course I get them all right there. But also when you say like, how do you do with your time? I mean, like, of course, like, I mean, on you have to go ahead and, you know, plan your day ahead to see what's going to happen. Like this morning, I text George to, you know, ask him like, hey, we still got the meeting, you know. discipline early in the morning. I don't miss any sleep. Like I had to wake up like alert, especially on Mondays.
Mm.
You know, and I plan my day to see what it's gonna be doing. Um, don't say you don't got no time, because if you go to bed early enough to have a good sleep, like at least like 7-8 hours, and wake up early in the morning, I mean, you have work and start since you wake up in the morning. You know why? Because you go to the gym early in the morning. And now, we always talk about this. I
Mhm.
go to the gym like I would say between 5:30 and 6 o'clock in the morning. You know, sometimes if I got like early appointments, I go there to like 5 o'clock. But then I go there early, so there's no excuse for you to miss the gym. If
Yeah.
you wake up early, you can go. You can go ahead and go out there. If I miss one day at the gym, I get really mad because I'm already in track. I'm trying to get to my office between 9:30 the latest. And what I do, I work on things that like important for me. Like follow up. Follow ups. That's what I do. My leads. The more important thing. And after that, the files. That, if I get any files with problems, that's what I do. And if I had to go somewhere to check one of my properties, I do it. But you have to manage your time. And I'm pretty sure you do that, Mike. You're handful to it. You run in an office. You got your flips, you got your kids. You're able to go ahead and do
Yeah.
that. Comparing with you, I don't have no little kids. Because got my daughter. She's already 21, 22, but she's independent.
Yeah.
But for you, you have to spend more time with your kids. That's one thing that I regret. When years ago, when my kids were like little, that I didn't have enough time to go ahead and spend with them because I was working a lot. I was putting a lot of hours.
Yeah.
And then that's one thing that I regret. Now the adults, we still we do a lot of things but still kind of like if I can go ahead and go back, I would say spend more time with your kids. You can go also include your kids in that. And the
Yeah.
time management. If you can go ahead and do it, at least like a half day, to be able to go ahead and do that. Now, I regret it, yes. One thing I don't regret is like kind of like I work for my kids, for my family, and then she was able to go ahead and finish college. 4 years without any single loan. I pay for her career.
Good.
That's and then I feel good that at least like this is what I did for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
was
did your
working a
part.
lot. But then I was able to go ahead and pay for that, which it was pricey, but she finished.
It's all worth it.
Yes, exactly.
One thing is, I know it's never too late to put the time into the kids. That's when I'm with my son, it's 100% with him. I've never flaked out on him or not picked him up or canceled. If anything, I try to get more time because this time around with my youngest is 11. With the ones that are older, I feel exactly that way because I realized like, oh shit, my kids are this. One of the when I was coached, one of the first things they said is when my daughter was 5, she's now 23, and my coach said, Mike, tell me if he saw that I was really close to her. I wrote about her, in my assignments or my homework that I had to turn back into him, to my coach. And he said, tell me one thing that you remember doing with your daughter that has nothing to do with a holiday, a birthday, or a special occasion. That what have you done in the past year? And I went blank. I was on the phone thinking, okay, well, I took her. No, I haven't taken her to the park. Well, I went to Chuck E. Cheese. No, that was her birthday. So I realized like, oh my gosh, I haven't really spent quality on time with them. And that did teach me. Of course, the thing is that this business pulls you in so many different directions. But one thing I'm doing now with my 11-year-old son is, okay, first I time block for him. And I try to create experiences that he's going to always remember. And with the other ones, and I'm trying to balance that out, trying to fit it in. Like I try to create, father-daughter dinners with my daughter. My son isn't living in New York, so it's harder for him. But my little one, my 11-year-old, I can hang out with them all day. So I'm putting all the time that right now that, later when he's older, he can't say, well, he didn't spend enough time with me, or you were too busy. The other ones, I was busy. And like you, I'm proud of being able to provide for them. But if I were to go back and say, and somebody gave me a choice, hey, would you go back and do it over and be able to spend more time, but business wouldn't be as good? I would probably trade it in and just, or manage it differently, just be better with time. And I see you when you're with your daughter, like it's the proudest thing. You feel really good. And it's apparent when you're posting her, when you guys are out and you're really proud dad. That's the greatest thing, I think. Greatest gift that we get, as being a parent.
Yeah, and then again, everything goes back to time management. Don't say you don't got no time. Like of course, if you want to sleep until like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, not you, but someone wants to sleep
Yeah.
until that time, and like half of your day's already gone, dude.
Yeah.
But if you wake up at 5, 6, I mean, you get your day going. By the time it's like 10 o'clock in the morning, you've done so many things already.
Yeah.
You're ahead of the game. That's what it is. Um, one thing, like you posted something one day, and it reminded me of my daughter too. I guess you was working in the flip, and I don't even know where. And then I guess you were working somewhere, and in the front yard, you were throwing like dirt or something like
Oh, my
that.
son. Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
were telling your son, he was gonna go ahead and get paid, and he was there. And then when my daughter was little, she was probably like 6, like 5, 6 years old. I had a listing in Fontana, and then I was gonna go ahead and have an open house the next day. So she asked me for like I don't even know. She asked me for some game like like I don't know, like Super Mario game. And I said, you know what? Yeah, I can go ahead and buy it, for you, but then you're gonna have to go help me. Like, what did I have to do? Well, I gotta go to, Fontana. We're gonna go ahead and pass flyers, you know. And when we finish, we can go ahead and, I can go ahead and get you the game. And then we started, like passing flyers, and she started doing it fast. And then I was looking to my daughter; she was ahead of me, and then she started yelling, "Dad, Dad, come over!" And I'm like, what happened? And this lady, she wants to go ahead and sell her house.
Nice.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
had the 2 listings in the same street, and then she got me the listing.
Nice.
I mean, and then of
Did
course
you
she got more than when I closed escrow, she got more than the Super Mario game. But we were
did
able
you
to.
1099 her when she was 7?
No, not at all. But that's the thing, and those things, like you teach your kids, the way to work,
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong with do that. I mean, it's not like being like, abusing your kids, anything like that. What I mean, like, you're teaching your kids to work, that's the thing. And I remember you posted, like, oh, man, I remember with my
Yeah.
daughter Christy, she was like that.
And she'll always remember that. She'll always
Yeah,
remember that.
of course,
Yeah.
what's it, recently, probably like 1 year ago, 2 years ago, she went to work, she was making phone calls at my office as an Einstein, and she got me quite a few leads, and she got me a flip too, but then she wanted like a finder fee. She started asking around like how much would it be in a finder
Yeah.
fee, and then she got paid.
Yeah.
She was good on the phones, but it's still kind of like she
Yeah.
learned from there.
Maybe
Not,
she'll come back to real estate one day or on the side.
I don't know. I don't know if she wants to go ahead and do that. But she's getting there little by little. I don't want to
Yeah.
go ahead and push her. You already know, like you got kids too. If they want to go ahead and do it, that's fine. But if they want to go to the office and then
You don't
give
want to
you a
force
hard
them.
time if they don't show up, that's the thing. She's responsible, but still, kind of like if they want to go ahead and do it, yeah, go for it.
Yeah. I tried to have my daughter work with us for about 2 months, and she said, "It's boring. Your job is boring," because she worked usually seeing people or going to school or Starbucks. She worked at
Uh-huh.
Starbucks, so she's used to seeing people all day long, talking, interacting. But who knows? Maybe late. I mean, it interests her, but maybe later she'll think of buying a house or investing or something. I don't know. But you're right. You can't force them because then they're going to be resentful.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
It's, like like my other kid. He started doing loans. He was really young, and he was like, I think it was 18, 19. And then he started doing loans. He started making good money. And back then he was working with Carlos,
mm,
actually. And then he couldn't control that. Like there was too much money coming in for him. And then one day somebody called me from the office. Hey, Frankie, clients are here at the office. I'm like, and then I was still home. So then I went to check on Frank, and he was still sleeping. And I go, Hey, dude, you got people waiting
Yeah.
for you at the office. Oh, and he was, I tell them to go home. I don't feel like, meet up with them. And I got mad. I'm like, that was the last day. I said, you know what, like, I'm not
Yeah.
going to tolerate that. I don't tolerate, things like that with my agents. And I'm going to tolerate, these kind of things with you.
Yeah.
I let him go, dude. But at the same time, he was too young. And he even said that, he said that, that was a mistake for him. Not everybody got that, like, to be, like, young and responsible at the
Yeah.
same
How old
time.
is he?
No, Frank is probably like 28, 29. That's what it is.
At that time?
No, back then he was like 18.
18.
18.
Okay. Kind of like George, I met him when he was 18.
Really?
Yeah,
Is he like 22 right now?
22.
Yeah, now you look younger, dude.
I started working at Chase for Big Bank at 23 years old. 22, 23 years old. No, I started working for Chase when I was 22 years old. And I had a territory of Orange County. So to go market, to go solicit. And it was so intimidating. Like George is saying, he was young. Like we were all young at that, at some point. Now
Yeah.
we're wise. So it was intimidating because I had to visit these real estate offices, and my manager or my boss would say, just go, give them a program, show them a flyer. And there's so many times where I'd go in the door, walk in the door, and I'd get through the receptionist, just, bring something to get me through the office. And then when the realtors would see me come, they would kind of hide. They would hide, or they would get on the phone, not hide, but they would get on the phone and act like they're busy. And then I would go down and it seemed like dominoes. I'd be walking and everybody would pick up their phone like they're busy. Like, oh shit, okay, well, here's a flyer, and I'll just leave it. And in that area in Orange County, it was different, right? So I told my boss, I said, why can't I go to another area? Like Whittier or Downey or something. He said, no, that's your area. You're staying in Anaheim Hills and Anaheim. And then they let me go to San Jose as well. But
San Jose.
yeah, it's a long story. So they said, he said, Mike, and my boss was like, he was helpful, but he was also a jerk in a way. So he was not my friend. He was my boss. And I remember coming to his office and saying, can I trade? Can I go to another place? Another territory? He said, no, that's where you're staying. And he said, I said, I just don't know how to break through because it just seems like everybody's always busy. And he said, Mike, do me this favor. Walk out, just turn around 180 degrees, take 3 steps, make a right, take about 20, 25 steps, make another right, and then take about 10 to 12 steps, make another right. And then you're going to turn about 180 degrees and there's a chair. When you sit down on your chair, then you're going to look up on your bookshelf and you're going to see a book of guidelines. Read the guidelines, gain your confidence, and you're going to be more confident in approaching these people and marketing to them.
Is there something else I can help with?
No. So the way he was helpful, but also it was kind of like a little bit of a pain in the ass, but he just said, gain the knowledge and you'll gain the confidence. And he said, get more guideline books. Have a guideline book at your desk, have a guideline book in your car, have a guideline book on your nightstand, and study that and memorize it. So then once I did learn the guidelines, I was able to walk with more confidence, and I think my body language and my shoulders back and just walking tall, and like he said, they can't throw a question at you that you don't know. You know every single thing that's in that guideline book. You're going to walk with confidence and you're going to get more business. And that's what happened. I started walking, talking, acting, just
like a lender.
Different. Like a lender.
Like a lender.
Throw anything my way. I know it. I mean, now things have changed a lot. It changes daily, but I would say, to a lend, I'm asking a question, answering it. But knowing your guidelines, knowing the knowledge, you gain more confidence. For a lender, there's a lot of new lenders out there, and they just rely on social media and what bullet points are on what this program. But then when they get an actual file, an actual scenario that you're not going to,
They don't got the answer.
they don't have the answer. They
don't
just
have
have
the
a, let me get back at you. And then they disappear and they don't answer their phone call.
Yeah.
That's why. But,
Yeah, going back to those days, I remember like when I started in real estate, like I used to go and show prop. I was working a full-time job, and I was doing real estate as a part-time. Saturday and Sunday was the day they were showing a lot of property. 3 families at the time, the same day, like all the way to Hesperia, coming down Riverside, Pomona. And I used to say that, and then the same thing on Sunday. I used to take people out for breakfast, for lunch, and dinner. And I used to put those people in my car. I used to have like an expedition back then, and I used to like taking those people for a ride. But you know what, like those clients, they still my clients. Those were some of my first clients. Like they purchased property from me, like and they sold it again, and then like they like buying again, and those are like good people. That's like, but still, like was putting a lot of time, in those buyers. But like it's and then again, like it's going back to basic. Like I think I was young and I was really, really hungry at the same time to go ahead and like get into the business. I didn't care. I was out there Saturday and Sunday showing property, so I made it after Monday morning. And
yeah,
then like I put a lot of time in. But now it's like that's what I tell my agents. Like that's what you have to go ahead and do. Like you have to put your time, work hard, and then be to be able to go ahead and then to have your pipeline, full,
to grow that
and
pipeline. Yeah.
work, because they only work like one day out of the week. I mean, there's no way, or they go home by 2 o'clock, you know. Or how many times did I call you, George, on the weekend, and it's late, and I say, "Hey, can you talk?" And then just to throw in a scenario like, "Hey, like this is what's happening," and then not too many agents work that late, not too many lenders,
Yeah.
answer the calls at that time. And one thing that I'm doing right now is like kind of like again, I'm going back to basics. I'm not pushing my team right now. I'm pulling my team. That's what I'm doing.
Mm.
Kind of like which is different because I mean I can tell my team how to do things, Mike and George, and but if I don't do those things, if I don't show them that I show properties, they're using the dialer, you know, uh, then I'm gonna do it. So I mean, I mean, at least in my like, I mean, I run a team, got my own office. That's what I'm pulling my team. This is what I'm doing. Show them the road to go ahead and
Yeah.
and yeah, like if they listen, yeah, they're gonna go ahead and do it. But I mean, it's hard when you tell people, I mean, well, it's easy. I want to say that it's easy to tell people what to do, but when you do it and you success, you got success. It's different. You know, and this, I mean, this is a different market. And everyone was waiting for this market. You know, everyone was waiting for this market. We went for a long ride. I will say that. And then now we're here, so we had to just, we had to, get to work.
I'm really optimistic. I get questioned all the time, or not questioned, but asked, "Hey, what do you think about this? When is this going to end? When is it going to get better? The rates? What are the rates today?" And I say, "I don't know. It depends." There's a lot of ways to answer that question, but there's a lot of fear right now in the streets, in real estate and loans, and I feel bad. I mean, I'm not saying there's not a little bit of level of concern on our side, but with everything, it's just got to be smarter with what you spend money on right now too. Put money in the right places. But right now, the people that are going to be here another 2-3 years are the ones that are going to dig in and push forward. And not just, I mean, if this angle isn't working, then try it in a different angle. If that angle isn't working, learn, be coachable, and also invest in how you can improve yourself. As far as the thing is, sometimes people are afraid of investing in themselves.
Yeah.
And you could get a lot of free answers on YouTube. I mean, you don't have to go to a Mike Ferry seminar, a Tom Ferry seminar. They have a lot of good material on YouTube, and it's free. But you could listen to it. But if you don't take the step, or if you don't implement it, then you've wasted all those times and hours on listening to something that you're not going to do.
You don't implement what you listen. What you're trying to go kind of learn. And then as a leader, I mean, what's a parent? I want to give you an example. As a parent, I mean, you got kids, Mike. I got kids too. And then to say if you show fear to your kids, and they look at you and say, no,
Yeah.
they can see you got fear.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened with I would say, with my team, if I show them that I have fear about the market, like something's happening, I don't know what to do, they're gonna notice, And the first thing that I do, every morning is like to be positive, I don't care if this person didn't answer the phone like 10 times, 20 times,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and, knock in his front door, I don't care if I didn't get the deal, the flip, but you know what? It's like a start fresh in the morning, with the right attitude, and then if somebody bring you like a really bad buy, to your office, somebody it's like you don't want somebody to give you like those bad buys,
Yeah.
because you don't need that. The time to go ahead
Because negativity is contagious, and
exactly.
Negativity is contagious. And you want to stay away from that and those people, for sure.
Exactly, because if not, when people want to go ahead and believe me, I'm working in the big office and people walk into my office. I'm not the broker of the office, but I can tell you at least daily, at least two people, 2 to 3 people, approach me, but what I'm doing different, and I'm telling you it's work, that's what I'm doing, and also to be optimistic about the market, no matter what, if I was making so many calls a day, now I'm making more phone calls. If I was sending so many letters, now I'm sending more letters. Something's not working out, then I'm changing a little bit,
Right.
to see what is going to happen. Now as a buyers, kind of like a buyer's market, we're going after buyers, making phone calls, that's another thing. In the past, buyers were calling and we were sending buyers to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, hey, come back. Hey, come back.
Exactly. And then, but it's weird because I can tell people in the CRM, and you've seen that with yours too. People in the CRM, you can see when they're clicking on the freaking on the houses. They want to go ahead and get something. They see there. They click. They want to know how the market is. But still, it's kind of they're there. Buyers out there. We just have to go ahead and get them.
Yeah. How many days or how many hours a week do you say you prospect?
I would say I prospect in the morning, solid 3 hours.
3 hours.
3 hours. 3 hours.
And is that a non-negotiable no matter what?
Non-negotiable. Then I gotta go in and do it again and do it again and do it again. And then from the system that I have, then I change it to somewhere else, and then okay, these are hot leads over here. So I know I know I have to go ahead and keep pushing these people over here. The system sending emails and text messages. But then also from us, from my personal cell phone, then I'm sending messages to people. I'm trying to follow up, with people with listings and buyers. That's today. That's what I was doing the whole day. Yeah.
So 3 hours. So you're prospecting 15 hours a week.
15 hours a week.
And are you door knocking or not right now?
I'm still doing door knocking. But I'm being more picky to see where I'm gonna be going. For a while I left Montclair. I've been selling a lot of real estate in Montclair for a while, and left Montclair. But now I'm going back because a lot of people know me. A lot of people can see get my flyers and see get my postcards, and all that stuff. And then so then it's easy for me to go ahead and walk. But I'm being picky. I can see they click on the website. I go there. And I keep going back the same way you were calling me 10 times. I called in
finally got through.
I called in a bunch of times, then a bunch of times, and send letters a bunch of times, flyers. I go and knock on the front door. So
So you're prospecting, picking up the phone and calling 15 hours a week. You're going to the gym at 5 a.m. You're also door knocking, and you have a budget and marketing every single week and monthly. Who's holding you accountable? And what if you don't do that? What's going to happen?
myself, how come, that's what I can go ahead and say, because there's no way you can ship yourself, Mike. There's no way. You know your numbers, you know your production, and there's no way you can lie to this. If you lie to yourself, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. I mean, like, it's for me, it's a discipline that I have to be doing that. Like, if people say, "Don't you get tired?" Yeah, I get tired.
Yeah.
You know.
But it would be cold not having a house and not having a car. You know, you have to continue to pay the bills, and it's even tiring not. It'd be more tiring if you don't have transportation. So you gotta keep up with, have a roof over your head, feed the family. You know,
Yeah, I mean, you know me. You got we like subcontractors, independents. Like you running a company, same way over here. I mean, I got overhead with in my office, and I have to be able to go ahead and be, productive. Like I can be like a retail buyer sellers, flipping, wholesaling, and then lately Airbnb, the house I got in Mexico, I'm kind of like busy.
Yeah.
I like it, and then like I was telling my friends that and my family that I'm super hyper. There's no way I can stay in the weekend in my house like one weekend without doing nothing. Then when I say, what, I'm gonna go and stay at home the whole day do nothing, there's no way.
you
I
can't
was,
just Netflix and chill.
no,
No,
maybe like a late at night, but then like during the day, like unless it's raining. But even if it's raining, then there's no way I can stay home.
you can't be with your pajamas and
Nope,
pantuflas with
not at all, man. And some people
abuelita.
they enjoy that. I mean, kind of like I mean, I can, like like, and then I got a lot of projects at home. I love old cars. I got my old cars right there. I had to do a lot of things. Like I still got a truck. I got a truck, and I got a 72 Chevelle that I haven't started yet. I sold the bike. I mean, it didn't make no sense. I mean, like, I was using like a once a year, and I was going crazy. Like going super fast, and then. I mean, there's a lot of people that depend on me. That something happen, it's like too risk. Like
My kids won't let me. My daughter says, "No way, you can't get a motorcycle. Too much responsibility. I like I have my alone time, and I have my time with my kid."
yeah, definitely. We
Yeah.
got a dog at home, and that's what it is, man. Like, and the freaking dog's taking over the house. You want to adopt that dog?
No, my son is begging me for a dog, and it's hard to say no to him, and he's just so persistent.
Well, don't get a San Bernardo. Like, I'm gonna get a small dog. So that way you don't have to pick like a lot. Like what's
Smaller
that?
dog, smaller
How do
the
you call those
shit.
cupcakes? Called like dog teacups? Yeah, teacups. Yeah, teacup. Like get something small because I mean you get a big monster, dude. You don't want to have to get a big shovel to go ahead and pick out the mess.
More shit, yeah.
More shit and shit. That's what it is.
So one word, rapid fire question, Mike. Who is your hero?
I mean, I automatically go to my dad,
Javier.
Mike Berrios.
No. But ask different questions because I don't want him thinking about it. Javier, what is your favorite body part?
Oh shit. Come on, dude.
These are random questions from the internet, so I'm just gonna ask.
You wanna go ahead and do something online with those questions? You say it like
All right, look, I'll ask you a different one. What is your favorite dessert?
dessert. I don't
Body
eat
part.
nothing with sugar, but I will say. Like,
You don't have to say her name, but.
both the.
All right, I'll ask you another one. What is your favorite store?
My favorite store. Okay. I would say like Dick's. Dick's.
Dick's?
Yeah.
Dick's
No,
Sporting-
not body part.
I knew you were gonna say something like that, Cal.
It's Dick's Sporting Goods store?
Yeah.
The name is just the weirdest, man.
Yeah.
But
I know.
That's a cool store.
Yeah, but kind of like you start up by the golf department, and now you can like hit balls right there, and to try everything goes club.
The one in Claremont?
No, the one in the Colonies.
Yeah, that one. That one.
Yeah, and then you can go ahead and go back all the way to the end and look for a jersey.
It's better than Big Five because Big Five.
Oh yeah, Big Five now. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't post that dick, people say. Go.
I mean, all right, whatever. Mike, what were you afraid of as a child?
La Llorona.
Yeah, I know.
Javier, what were you afraid of as a child?
What's a child of the prey? It's a good one right there. Well, can I remember? Well, no, nothing. Was
The
kind of
dark? No. The neighbor? The chancla?
I was scared of my mom. Actually.
I thought that was Mike was gonna say. So La Llorona and your mom. Mike, is your bed made right now?
Yes. I
Javier
don't.
is your bedmate right now.
Yeah, every single morning. As soon as I get up in the morning, that's what I do.
So make your bed.
Yeah.
All right. Mike, what dish do you cook best?
Pozole.
Javier, what dish do you cook best?
The best, I would say, like salmon. Salmon with veggies. Yeah.
How do you cook it?
Put it in the oven, put some spices on it, like 2 different trays.
Mm.
And then some marinara size, all depending which flavor you want to go ahead and have, like flavor. You know when you go to the flavor, different flavors, sauces.
Yeah.
George
Yeah.
doesn't like salmon.
Huh?
I
Something's
like
wrong.
blackened salmon.
Something's wrong. Oh, okay.
Blackened salmon is good.
But you know what I put the salmon, you know that, Mike, is like the salmon gets the flavor, like
From the
inside.
skin?
No, from the sauce.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's like the pasta. If you eat like just pasta like that,
Uh-huh.
it has no flavor.
Yeah.
The same thing with tofu. If you want to try tofu was the same thing. Like you put some good sauce and it tastes really good.
Tofu lowers your testosterone.
I don't think so.
How do you cook your pozole? Which one, red or green?
Red.
You can't make those with my phone. You just post it all over the internet.
What? I'm gonna put up your recipes.
I know. He used to.
It's good.
I know it's good. I've had it. So how do you cook
I
it?
had it once.
No, it's process. It's a process. It's a long process.
All right. So here's the last one. Mike, do you have a bucket list?
I have a bucket list. My bucket list consists of experiences, places to go, not material things. So my first, I would say Greece. The second is Amalfi Coast in Italy. The third is send my parents on a 2-3 week European vacation. That's pretty much it. Just going to those places. I would like to learn how to fly. That's something that I've been wanting to, but it's procrastinated. But a friend, Paco, was like, "No, I gotta do that. I need to focus on that. But I need to get a hobby. But definitely in my bucket list would be Greece, Amalfi Coast, Italy, and sending my parents on a 2 or 3 week trip to Europe.
When you say fly, is it a helicopter or a plane?
Plane, a little
Little
puddle
Cessna.
jumper. Yeah.
Javier, do you have a bucket list?
I do. Same thing like Mike, like traveling, like some places. Like I really want to go to Egypt, Israel. That's what they was called the West Bank. Okay. Want to see what's going on right there. There's a lot of bombing stuff. And then I will say one thing that I want to definitely do is like do an Ironman because I've done so many marathons and a lot of my friends they started doing like Ironman, so that's they keep calling me all the time to go ahead and go with them like for runs, bicycle, and swimming, and then it's but that's kind of like having like another full-time job. You gotta be besides because running is one thing, but when you get involved with those Ironmans, it's completely different.
That's tough, man. Do you know how to swim good?
No.
I have a friend in San Diego. He's done 14 of them.
14?
14 Ironman.
Yeah.
And he said he had to stop because it became his wife thinks like, you just want to be out of the house, huh? So he said, yeah, I finally got caught. That was my excuse to be out of the house to train for Ironman, but he's done so many every year consecutively. But
that's what's called brick. And they do when they train, it's called bricks. They
Bricks.
do bricks. They do. They go to say like from San Gabriel. They go on the bikes. It's a trail that goes all the way to the beach, and they go all the way to the beach on the bikes, and they get to say Marina Del Rey in the bikes, and then swing right there by the channel, and then and from there they go for a run, and then come back on the bikes. So it's kind of like so that's
just that bike ride alone is hard.
yeah, like the running and the bike. I don't think I got a problem, especially the running. You guys are running all that, but I mean the swimming. I mean, that's one thing that I got feared for. That's the swimming to go into the ocean and. But they got a special suit. You can be floating out there, but also like being in the open ocean with the salt water. They got little ones. It's called the Homie triathlons. They do those right here at Bonelli.
They just Oh, I thought you were saying
No.
like South Central. Like, run, full.
No, it's called that. You can Google it. It's called the Homie Triathlon in Bonelli Park. Yeah.
So an Ironman is a full marathon,
Uh-huh.
26.2 miles.
Uh-huh.
Swimming 2 miles.
2 to 3 miles, and then there will be 100 miles on the bike. You know.
Wow.
Yeah,
What's
I
the
believe
time?
it's 100 miles. Yeah.
How much time do you have to complete it?
Well, the goals you get cut off if you don't make it on time. I believe like some people make like 23 hours, 22 hours.
Holy shit!
You know, and that's like like.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I thought you had it like 30 days.
No, that's
I know.
that's crazy, man.
No.
I used to watch those all the time. That's why I used to do it when I was out there. Like little meat. Well, God, I'm not gonna swim in the ocean, but I used to swim in the pool. But it's hard, but you get a high off of it. Just like when you run,
Yeah.
right? Like you said, they had like a runner's high. Like after you're running for a while, like you have this feeling. Even when you bike or run, it's a I don't know what it is, man, but you feel good after you've been running a long time.
But you know what, your body get used to. That's the thing. Like I don't wanna like that again. It's like I haven't run full time yet.
You gotta train for a long time.
Long time. Like I just did a marathon. It's like and to be honest, I didn't train like I was probably like a 60 to like not even 70%. You know, like to be to my level.
Yeah.
And the reason because I don't want to keep dropping weight. Dropping weight and.
Trying to get buff like Mike Berrios.
Yeah, no, but it's kind of like when you like in the past I was running for time to say this I'm gonna go and do it in 3 hours and 15 minutes, and you have to get faster and faster and faster, and you start dropping a lot of weight,
Yeah.
And it's like I think we were talking about this the last time, and for me it's hard to gain weight, especially the muscle, it's kind of like complicated for me to go to get to that. I mean, the running no problem, but I mean to get like.
Because you run too much, maybe.
Not anymore. I run like this marathon. I run like I didn't put in the many miles for training. I finished the marathon. It wasn't my best time.
Yeah.
Compared I did like 4.5 hours compared with 3 hours and 15 minutes.
Dude, imagine that running 26 miles in 4 hours.
No, 26 correction. People that run marathons, they say 26.2.
26.2. 26.2.
That's important because those 0.2 are the hardest, they say.
Next time, Mike said he wants to do this in Spanish.
Oh, he wants to do
Para
Spanish?
la raza.
But again, like just to close out, the same thing applied to this too. Like I didn't train like I was only like 60 to 70%. There I didn't train to 100%, and I did 4.5 hours. So like in the past I did and I did the marathon like in 3 hours and 50 minutes. I was 100%, and I was consistent. And the same thing with business, dude. Like if you know that you're not like there, you have to like continue. Like that's the way I see it. And the same thing with the marathon. I hit the wall. If you know what's the wall, it's kind of like when you run a marathon and you get to this, can be like mile 16 or 17, and you hit the wall hard, and then you say, "What the hell am I doing over here?" Instead of being at home.
Yeah.
What I get myself into.
Exactly. And the same thing like with the business, dude. Like that's the way I see it too. Like and I know like you were saying like what do you do like to do what you do? And like there's no way you can cheat to yourself. I'm not happy because I did it in 4.5 hours because I know I can do it. In 3:15. I've done it before. But to be there, I had to put more time. And the same thing with business. If I want to be there with numbers, I have to go and put more.
I think we're always, Mike has always said that. It's like we're always trying to find a shortcut, but there is no shortcut. Like there's systems, tools, and things that can help you, technology, or try this or try that. But at the end of the day, if you're not working, how are you going to get results? Like, how are you going to get the results that you get if it's someone that's just doing part-time work, part-time hours? Not working weekends, not working late calls.
Exactly. We don't like in the past. I was telling you, I was off like Thursdays. Thursdays I was playing golf, with different groups. That was my day to do whatever. Saturday and Sunday I was off. I was in Rosarito. I was in Vegas. I was traveling. Now it's a different market. So again, going back to to my agents, I mean, I had to show them, working. Like, okay, I'm not pushing my team, I'm pulling my team. When it goes to Monday, I say, you know what, hey, I got this deal, I got this flip, I got also all this property, got this escrow going, that's the way I see it.
Results.
Results.
Cool,
Right.
man.
Right, man?
Very good intro.
All right.
Thank you.
I like it. Two very smart gentlemen.
I'm learning. I'm learning every day.
See,
Alright.
like that's what they say. Don't be the smartest guy in the room. I'm the dumbest one here. So.
I mean, you're smart, dude. I mean, you close people. And then, like, como dice Mike, on the start, like, with Manny, you were, I mean, you came, like, later on with Mike, after I met Mike, and then, and I was thinking, this guy's gonna go ahead and take care of my client, and
Just en mocoso.
yeah, you were able to go ahead and close. I mean, like, that's the thing. I mean, if you got the, if it don't, let's go, like, don't, like, to be able to go ahead and do things, I mean, that's the thing. The same thing, like, with my, with my clients, when I go to, I got clients, they're doctors and they're like freaking lawyers, dude, like, and now we're like in the group, somebody brought some freaking doctor, they want to go ahead and invest money, and I was thinking like, mi pinche paisa, no, don't post that in the, no, mi pinche paisa, look, like, from Mexicali, Mexico, and I got like,
See, but that's a relatable thing, though.
like, I got like 4 doctors, they want to go ahead and put money to go ahead and buy a house. I say, you know what, we got like $1 million, go ahead and look for properties.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you really want to go ahead and do that? Maybe, but still, like, I mean, these people got freaking
Money.
degrees and got money, like, they trust me.
Yeah.
I mean, the same way with you. I mean, like, if you got the tone to go ahead and do it, eventually, when I get to those situations, I go, how do I end up with this guy right here? Like, with the freaking, no, not with you, like, not with you, like, with the,
What's what you were saying?
with the
It was
doctor.
a serendipitous meeting, with your friend that you weren't planning on it. It wasn't a planned on friendship that, all of a sudden just people gravitate to you because of, maybe, I know why, someone like him would gravitate towards you. But it's almost like they say is the imposter syndrome. You've heard of that, right? Where it's like others believe in you, but you don't believe in yourself. It's like you're doubting yourself, you're doubting or thinking like, why me? How did I end up with these doctors? Or how did I have this friend? Or like, how did this thing come about? And you don't believe it, but others do. Others believe in you. Others see it, but you, like, we always doubt ourselves.
Well, you say somebody believes in you, but when you walk into a room, and then, and especially in my case, like, and that's one thing that I had to be able to go ahead and, like, erase everything. Like, I'm gonna walk to a room with somebody that has a PhD, and then I'm gonna walk in there with my big accent and broken English, and when I get out from there and got a fucking control sign, and I go home and I'm driving back home, and I go, how don't the freaking world close this freaking guy that has a PhD? And don't post that in there. No, I'm saying like, like, and then
But you have a PhD in real estate,
yeah.
So that's like kind of going back to what my boss was saying. You know your stuff, you know your guidelines. You walk with confidence, and then people are like, oh, they believe in you. When I felt like I memorized that guideline book, like something happened, just like bring on the questions, and then maybe they saw it, like, oh, he knows what he's talking about. Mike, let me ask you about this scenario, and I knew it. That's, I think, just your stuff. People come. You said 1 or 2 people a day. It's not because they get free ice cream or soda, free refills, because they know, like, okay, let me go to the source and see, what he's doing. He's successful for all this.
And I'm gonna say too, when you're the smartest in the room, I mean, in the room, or your group, it's time for you to go kind of look for something for another different group. And then, and one thing that happened, like, and I'm pretty sure you do that, Mike. When I saw you post today, about Bobby, I got different groups and I got friends, like, big time. I don't want to mention, names. They own like big time companies, brokerages, things like that.
Paula Areola, La Michoacana.
Okay, I'll bust that.
But anyway, like, going back to that, like, mastermind with Dan, having a conversation with Dan.
Yeah.
When I'm afraid to go ahead, and I'm not afraid that I will say, like, got the fear to go ahead and invest so much money to jump on it. And for them to say, you know what, do it. Because you only got one chance. It's like when the train comes and you say, you know what, you jump in the train or you stay outside. Because the train's gonna be leaving, and you're gonna regret it. So that's the way I see it. One of my, I would say one of the guys that I talked to can be, I can call him a mentor. I would say that. Like he was telling me that when you see opportunity, you have to go ahead and jump, because you never know if that's gonna go ahead and come back again. I don't know if you agree with that or not.
Yeah,
but,
no, it's true.
that's the thing. That I regret a lot of things that I jump on it because I was afraid to invest. That's the thing. But also you have to take a risk. You're an investor. You have to take a risk when you buy a property. Same thing over here. When I see a deal, say, I'm gonna go ahead and get it. And when I close,
Excuse me.
when I see the investment, I say, you know what, it was good. That was good. I sent it.
No.
Well, thank you, sir.
All right, Michael.
Thank you, sir.
Be somewhere by 5.